and there'll be a thing, an intro, and then we'll start
It's like
talking.
a video intro.
We're live.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to T.Skies special Saturday guest show. We've got a local New Mexico artist with lots of really cool things to talk about. We'll be right with you. All right, hello everyone. Hey.
Hey!
Welcome to Turquoise Skies Saturday guest show. I'm Matthew James, and today we've got a special guest, Jack. How do you say your last name again, Jack?
Boglioli.
Boglioli. Jack Boglioli is from New Mexico.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
Yeah.
Okay. What brought you to New Mexico?
Adventure. It was kind of an accident. I was like 18, 19 years old, and I didn't want to live in upstate New York anymore, and I graduated high school, so I got on a Greyhound bus and
Interesting.
came across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you landed here. What about New Mexico specifically?
Well, I went all the way to California originally with the intention of having like a adventure into Mexico.
Okay.
But I came through Albuquerque on the way,
Yeah.
and I love the sunshine, I love the people, I love the chili, and it's a pretty cool place to live as well. There's a lot of art. So when I got to Los Angeles, I didn't have everything I needed for my passport, so I ended up coming back here and getting a place. And I've
Nice.
been here ever
That's
since.
pretty cool.
And so how long ago was that?
About 10 years.
Wow. Okay. It traps you in, huh?
Yeah.
Land of entrapment.
It's a happy
like to say.
entrapment, I guess. But
Yeah, it's there's something about New Mexico that is magical, that it really does grab you. The 360 days of sunshine. It rains typically 5 days a year.
Yeah.
The beautiful open skies, and upstate New York, the tree line. I'm sure when you go back now, it almost feels a little claustrophobic.
It's a little claustrophobic, and all the houses are 3 stories rather than one
Yeah.
with flat roofs, you know. So it's there's a lot closing in on you, and there's a lot of clouds, and it's dark.
Yeah.
It has its upsides too, but
Well,
I
yeah.
like it here.
Well, you're basically a local now of 10 years.
Yeah.
And then you started, you finished the jewelry program at C&M.
Yes. I finished the jewelry program in 2017. I started in 2015. I actually started creating and selling jewelry in 2008
Okay.
when I was 15 years old. But I did a kind of long period of self-experimentation. I didn't have a lot of tools. And when I saw that there was going to be a jewelry program at C&M, I signed up. And it was actually before it had even started. So I got to be in
You
the
were the
first
pioneer.
class. Yeah.
Pioneer group that came through. As you all know, we work closely with C&M. There is a jewelers program there, and we have a nonprofit organization that we send. We raise money for scholarships for Native American students to go into the program. This is a program that Jack attended. He's been a jeweler even before the program, but this next month or so, we're bringing some jewelers in that have graduated from the program. It's really awesome to see the quality of work that's coming out of that program and to just share that with everybody. So I'm excited to show off Jack's work. We've got some very interesting things that we don't normally see on the show. It's really great to see the variety of artists that we get on the show, and you've got a special technique that I rarely see that I'd love to talk about.
Yes.
So right here we have a feed with everyone saying hi.
Hello,
And-
Tammy. Hi, Bonica. Hi, Shelly.
Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. So, so I'm gonna just give you a preview here. Our item number one. We're gonna look at this for a minute. We're gonna go through all the rest of the jewelry, and then I'm gonna come back to this piece. So, item number one. Let's just take a look at what we're getting into today. Check this out. So again, this is just a quick preview. We're gonna talk a lot more about it here in a minute. But look at that. We've got some faceted stones. We've got a special technique that we're going to talk about here that comprises up of the housing of the stones. And really awesome. Stay tuned. We'll be with this piece shortly. But we're going to start off here with item number 2. We'll talk more about this piece. If this is your first time to the show, welcome.
We should go over all the
we should go through all the things.
housekeeping.
Yeah. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for watching. This is a jewelry show here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are Turquoise Skies, located in Uptown in Albuquerque. If you're in town, please swing by. We're at 8106 Manal Northeast, on the corner of Wyoming and Manal. All the jewelry here is for sale. We're going to be showing pieces on the show. Everything that we show, you can buy. All you have to do is let us know by saying sold in the comments. Every piece has a number associated with it, and as it pops up, and if you want it, say sold, and then let us know the number. So if you want number 2, you say sold number 2. This jewelry all belongs to Jack. This is all his jewelry. We're really grateful to have him here and to bring this to you. We know that it's sometimes hard to get out to a lot of the craft shows. It's hard to come out to the Southwest. And so we hope this is a way you can experience an artist show remote. We are live, so if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Jack is here with us. So it's an opportunity to ask him anything you want.
I love answering questions too.
Perfect.
So.
Once you purchase a piece, we just need to send you an invoice, and you can pay it with a credit card, with PayPal. We've got some different financing options on our system. All we need is your email. You can email us hello@tskies.com. If you would like to leave a message on our answering machine, Devin's up there right now, Devin Edison, answering the phones. You can call us here, 505-862-9443. Or you could reach out to us on Facebook.
Yep, I put my link in there. If you're new and we don't have your email address, just message me on Facebook and I can get you all sorted. And I put our hello@T.Skies up there as well.
We do have an in-house layaway system, if you'd like. We required the purchase of $250 or more. That's the total cart value, and of course that has to be okay with the artist. Is that okay with you, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I should have asked you before the show, so I'm not putting you on
He
the
asked
spot.
me, so
Okay,
yeah,
good.
We covered it.
But what that means is if you buy something that's $250 or more, we require a down payment of 25%, which is non-refundable, to hold the piece for you, and then we will charge 25% a month until the piece is paid off, and then we'll ship it to you. All right, am I missing anything?
No, we did layaway, we did how to buy.
If you haven't yet, we've got a private Facebook group called our Inner Circle. The link is in the description below. If you click on that, and you should join that too, Jack. It's a place where
I want to be in the circle.
You'll be in our circle now.
I'll let you in. I'll approve your.
It's a private group, so we vet the people that are requesting to come in, just so we don't get any spam. It's a way to keep it safe for our artists, for our collectors, all of you, to have a nice place to have conversation and ask questions. If you want to ask Jack questions after the show, it's a good place to do that. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing. Please share.
Yep.
We are posting live on Facebook and YouTube. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, please share, please like, please hit the thumbs up button. It really helps us with the Facebook and Google algorithms. If you're on YouTube, you're going to see the comments coming in from Facebook, but if you're on Facebook, you're not going to see the comments coming in from YouTube. Everything that we have here, I believe, is one of a kind. Do you take orders on any of your pieces?
Yeah, some of them, like the Zia earrings and Zia pendants, are reproducible work. They're production work. But a lot of what I have here today is one of a kind, even the smaller stuff. So
it's Miki behind the camera, by the way, Shelly.
I appreciate the shout out.
Some of these pieces are one of a kind. So if you purchase this piece, it's first come, first serve. So if you want something, you have to jump on it. A lot of times these things will go really quick, and we have to give it to the first person who comes through across in our feed. If it is something that is a production piece, Jack, you just need to contact us after the show, and we can get a hold of Jack, or we can connect you with Jack, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind making some production work.
I would not.
Awesome. Okay, I think we got all that out of the way. Anyway, if you're watching I know we have a certain audience that is here live, and we have a lot of people that join afterwards. If you join afterwards, we will be posting items in our inner circle if there are any left, and you can find the pieces there. Do you size? Lodo's asking.
I can size. It depends on the ring, and we'll probably talk more about that as we get into my techniques. Some of the rings I would have to just make one that is your size, that is similar, rather than resizing the existing one.
And there's a really interesting technique, and we'll get into the reasoning behind that here in just a few minutes. So anyway, that being said, let's start off by looking at the ring, number 2. So this is item number 2. This is a ring size 7.5 to 7.5. We can probably squeeze it up a little bit. If we needed to hammer it up to an 8, we could probably do that.
Yeah.
Up
Up is easy.
is
Down
much easier. Yeah.
Not so easy.
So this is a lapis stone.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. Lapis Lazuli.
And that is on a square wire band.
Yep. A thick square wire band, so that is very hefty band.
Sterling silver.
Sterling silver that is oxidized intentionally to give it a darker appearance. And then the setting is done with fine silver that is not oxidized. So there's some contrast there.
That creates a beautiful contrast. Do you see what we're talking about, everyone? Let me get a good view on that. Oh, you know what? It's because my light's off. There we go.
Boom.
Now it's too bright. Holy smokes.
There we go.
We're live. We're playing jazz.
Yeah, it's just part of our thing, I guess.
There we go.
There it is. Boom.
Got the lapis there. Can you see all that texture and detail now? And then the contrast that we're talking about. You see all this silver here? It's nice and shiny and bright. It's going to stay that way. Jack is using fine silver, and it's not going to tarnish like your sterling silver. The sterling silver is 92.5% silver, and the other 7.5% has usually a copper or a copper alloy, and that is what creates that tarnished look. But it's so beautiful when you have the two next to each other because you can get that differentiation in color.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Jack, you started talking about the housing here.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main things that we're seeing different with this piece than a lot of other pieces that we've seen before. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So if you can notice the two concentric circles, basically, that are going around the stone.
Yep.
What I do is I fabricate those with traditional jewelry methods beforehand so that they fit perfectly around that lapis stone. And after that is done,
Sorry. There you go.
After those pieces are made, I go in with this long, thin strand of silver, very long, very thin, and it's actually bound and woven back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that is tying those two pieces together around the stone and trapping it in place permanently. And it's also creating all of that visual interest and texture that is on the piece. And you'll see as we go through my work that this technique in some way or another is demonstrated on every piece.
It looks like a basket.
That is rad as
Yeah,
hell.
that
That's
is.
so
that-
cool.
I'm sure that takes a long time.
It takes a very long time, yeah, especially in the bigger pieces. But even in the smaller, simpler work like this, it's very intensive because if one little bit is off, the whole thing will not look right. So it has to basically be perfect.
Awesome. And we'll let you know the prices of these rings a little quicker. We just wanted to get through that kind of the introduction of Jack's style here and that very unique look that we have. The price on this piece is $199, and this is a size 7.5, and this is item number 2. And we will come back through these one more time towards the end, but we've got that lapis, and again, this technique is what is holding the stone in, and so this is one of the things, one of the reasons why it's incredibly hard to resize this ring. Is because when you resize a ring, usually you're going to cut the material and shrink it, and then you're going to need to use a torch to solder weld it back together. That torch and this lapis do not get along, and so usually you would want to take the stone out to do the resizing, and to take this stone out, Jack might as well make another whole piece.
Yeah, that's usually what I do, is I make
Yeah.
a new piece for someone if they want it.
That would make
Different
sense.
size.
So again, here we go. We're starting off with number 2, $199. Okay.
I think these are gonna go.
Yeah, these may go quickly, everybody. We've had some requests for specifically for Zia earrings. Zias. There we go. I'm gonna prop those up a little bit. You know what? All right. We just moved our whole system, and so everything's just a little bit off.
Yeah.
Sterling silver, and that white stone there is howlite. Price on these earrings is $129. These are set prices by our artist today, Jack. And can you see Jack's personal touch in there? Can you see the wire work?
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Sold. Boom. There it is.
There we go.
thank you.
They're gone.
So if I can explain on these
Yeah,
pieces.
go ahead. Just something we do for our customers, for our collectors, for our inner circle. When something is purchased, we just like to say thank you, and we do a little thank you drum. Thank you, Susan.
So just to give you a little bit more information about these earrings, this personal touch that I put on here, this is that same technique, but it's done in a little bit of a different way, and it's done in a very simple way. What I have is, this Zia is made of solid silver underneath. Let me get it in focus there. So that's all solid silver, all of the rays of the Zia symbol. But then I take that long thin strand of silver, and it's bound very tightly and very carefully around each one of those little rays of the sun symbol. And after that is done, what I do is I go in with a torch and I heat it up to solder and fuse all of that in place. So that texture there will never come undone or unraveled.
That's cool.
That's permanent. So,
It takes a lot of work, a lot of time.
and these are also...
That's a great price for the time and energy you put into that.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. These are also leverback ear wires, which I like to use on all my earrings. So they're really good with masks. They don't fall off. They don't slip out of your ear. Nice quality ear wire on that.
Awesome. And those were sold to Susan.
Yep.
Thank you, Susan. That's number 3. Number 4. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it right here, Miki.
Okay.
Can you just do that? Go. Autofocus. That's what we get for like redoing our
Trying to make it nice
shopping
up
for
here.
the show. There we go. Go ahead.
It is a bazillion gauge wire, actually. You're right.
Bazillion gauge.
Yeah. It's actually 30. 30 gauge fine silver.
So what the question was is the wire around here, the gauge of the wire, the larger the number, the smaller the wire, and 30 is incredibly small. So what do we have here, Jack?
That is a hessonite garnet, a faceted hessonite garnet.
Hessonite.
Yeah. So that kind of amberish color garnet, orangey
Yeah,
color
Like
garnet.
it.
It's like
It really pops, and there's a little bit of it in the bigger piece that we saw earlier that we'll come back to later. I really like that stone, so I chose to put it in this piece. And this is kind of a iteration of the New Mexico shaped piece that I have been doing. I've been doing a bunch of them, and so this one is actually one of a kind. This was just random inspiration, wanted to put this setting on this shape, and so this is not a production piece. This is something that is unique.
The price on this piece is $121. $121 is item number 4. Unique New Mexico pendant. Let's look at your bail too. Your bail's a little different. It's long. Probably creates a little more movement to the piece.
Lets it
It's
dangle
like
a little bit.
It's like a long handmade chain link. And then you've got the hand texture there with the ball peen hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And very clean, because this is, so let's get a shot of the side of the piece so you can see that too. You can't really see this from the front, but look at the elevation there of that
cool.
stone. Very clean solder work. You definitely doing a really great clean job.
Thank you.
And on the back side here, this is your hallmark.
Yes, I have my initials, which are usually in my logo, and I carve those into the back of every piece as well.
Do you hand carve that or with a flex shaft or something?
It's with a flex shaft diamond bit right now. Yeah.
That's pretty accurate for a diamond bit by hand. That's great.
I've done it a bunch of times, so I guess repetition.
Can I show off your card here?
Yeah.
So there's the symbol. This is Jack's hallmark. And he etched that by hand in the sterling silver with a flex shaft.
And that's in the back of all of the pieces that are big enough to be able to have space to put it there.
All right, that's item number 4. Again, the price is $121. Number 4. Hessonite. What is hessonite?
I've never heard that before.
It's garnet.
It's garnet?
It's a
It's
type of garnet. Yeah.
Okay. Hessonite
Just like
garnet.
there's green garnet, there's different colors of garnet. So
Yeah.
hessonite is the
Is that
orange
gold amber?
one. Yeah.
Here we go. This is item number 5. Price for everyone. This is going to go quickly. $91.
Ooh.
Faceted stone.
What's the size?
Size 8.
I have a special name for these. I like to call these bound band rings, just because I'm using that same binding technique that I showed you on the Zia earrings just a minute ago. That is done on the ring as well. So with this
I
ring,
think we just sold it. But
Yeah.
thank you.
Who was first on that one?
Migdalia was first.
Migdalia. Sorry, Duana. Migdalia beat you by about 4 seconds. Go ahead and keep talking about your ring.
So I call this a bound band ring.
Okay.
And the reason is because I'm using that same technique that I showed on the Zia pendant earlier, the Zia earrings earlier. And the unique thing about this one is, in order to get this texture all the way around this band, I had to use one long strand of silver. So it's very, very long, and I apply it to the band when the band is already round. So it takes a while.
How do you guesstimate your wire length on something like that?
Well, what I do actually is I know about how long I need from experience, and so
When it's that long and you're wrapping it around every time?
yeah, I don't judge it by feet. I basically judge it by how many times the little hole goes by on the
Okay.
wire spool.
Yeah.
And so it goes by about 18 to 20 times.
Wow.
And I think it ends up being about 4 or 5 feet.
Wow. That takes a long time.
And if it's not one piece, I have to start over again because there will be a break in the pattern, and I don't want to break in the pattern.
No.
That's awesome. And we just sold number 2 during your explanation.
That's right. Rhonda's also going to take number 2. So
For Canada.
Migdalia is going to take this ring that we were just showing on the screen, which is item number 5. There we go. Sold. And then item number 2
It's going to Rhonda.
is going to go to Rhonda Weber.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Rhonda. Migdalia.
Thanks.
Okay, that's number 2, number 5 gone. You might as well start talking about this one while I play some drums. Ooh, yeah, we were talking about this before the show. There's another little hidden gem in that one. This is item number 6.
Okay, so
Oh, that's really cool.
this piece has a piece of turquoise set with the same technique that you saw on number 2. So it's that same woven setting around the stone, done in fine silver with a sterling silver base. But one thing that is unique about this piece, you can see this coloration on the outside of the band of the ring here. There's all sorts of different colors. That is something called mokume gane. That's a Japanese term that means wood grain in metal. And so there's a special technique that has to be undertaken in order to make this happen. What I did was I took 4 different metals. In this, it's base.
Did you make your own mokume?
I made the mokume
Wow.
gane. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah?
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So I took 4 different metals. In this case, they're base metals so that it could be relatively affordable, besides the silver in it. So I did copper, brass, bronze, and silver. And those are each a layer in basically a big chunk of metal. So I did 20 layers. So it goes copper, brass, bronze, silver, copper, brass, bronze, silver, over and over again until I got to 20 layers. And that was put into a kiln at 1400 degrees for 14 hours. It was an overnight endeavor. And when I took that chunk of metal out of the kiln, it was all fused completely together. All those different metals didn't have to be soldered. They were totally fused together into this thick chunk, probably about an inch thick. I then hammered that down on an anvil, repeatedly, hammering and then annealing to soften the block of metal over and over again until it was probably about 1/4 of an inch thick. And then I cut a piece off of that to make a bar. I twisted that, so now all those layers are twisting. It's almost like when you watch someone make a candy cane. All those layers of different colors of metal are twisting that have been hammered and fused together. And then the final stage is to slice it down the middle. And that's when you get this final pattern here of twisted metals that are all fused and bonded together forever.
So cool. It's so awesome that you actually made it too and did the whole process yourself. And as Shelley was saying, even without a rolling mill, you hammered it.
I hammered it, yeah.
That's some
cool.
energy.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's awesome. I learned something today.
If you anneal it a lot, you can just keep hammering it and it'll keep getting thinner.
Did you get any splitting or anything when you were doing it? There we go.
Some, but I it made a pretty big chunk, so I could get rid of the bad piece of it and keep the good piece of it. Oh, that looks really good right there.
Yeah, look at that beautiful texture. This will be a one of a kind. You're just not going to have another one like it. It's almost like a fingerprint, very much like the stone here. And
what size is that ring?
That's a 5. So it's on the smaller side.
Ring size 5. The price on this is very reasonable. Honestly, we should double this, but we're going to honor this price here. It's on sale for $125. Just the energy that goes into that.
That's so much effort.
Size 5 mokume gane.
How do you spell
Ring.
that? Or can you spell it in English?
Kunegane. There we go. This is item number 6 for $124.
One more thing about this, because I used copper, brass, and bronze in the making of the mokume gane, I lined the inside of the band with silver, so there's never actually copper touching the inside of
That's cool.
touching your finger from the inside of the band.
So you basically have another overlay technique going on right here, and you can see those 2 layers. That inner layer is sterling silver, and the outer layer is the mokume gane. And the sterling silver is on the inside because, as you may know, if you've ever worn copper jewelry, that the oxidation of the copper against your skin can turn your skin green. And that is an extra little detail, an extra little step that Jack did. Awesome. I will buy this ring if it does not sell today.
Dolly asks, do you play music while you work on jewelry?
Do I play music while I work on jewelry? Yes. I do play a lot of podcasts and audiobooks, but I do like music, especially in the morning. Something to get me going. I like a lot of classic rock. I like Tool. I like all kinds of different stuff.
Bernadette on YouTube. Bernadette Lee. It's purchased. And am I saying it wrong? I always say Makune Gane, but it's Makume Gane.
Mokume, yeah.
Mokume?
Yeah.
So it's an M-E and not an N-E at the end of that. I spelled it wrong.
Thank you, Bernadette.
That's so good.
I need to do some drumming. Did I drum for everybody
I don't
else?
think so. I think you're a few
I'm
behind.
behind.
Need extra drumming.
Just an extra drumming. Thank you everyone for supporting Jack today. That was item number 6.
I love when the table gets empty when we just start pulling displays because that means we're doing a good job.
Number 7. The first pair of these sold almost instantly to give you a heads up, so this will be quick, and these have turquoise. So
Boom. Yeah, they won't be around for long, y'all.
we've got the turquoise Zias. There's one pair of these. We talked about these a minute ago. We've got Jack's special technique with the fusing and that creation of the texture. They're gone. Janny Lynn.
That is Sleeping Beauty turquoise, by the way.
Wow.
What's the price on?
$129.
$129. Go.
Thank you, Jenny.
Bernadette, she beat you by just a
Should I
few
drum?
seconds.
Do the drum. Thank you, Jenny. Bernadette, I'm sorry, and we can be in touch after the show if you'd like some. That is a piece that you can make.
Yes, that is a production piece. Those earrings can be made again. So.
You just made. How long did it take you to make something like that? Did you need a couple weeks, a month, or
A few days.
a few days?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be in touch. Number 8. What is that?
We're trying to get fancy with the displays. I found that hand.
Is that a shell?
Yes, that is Blue Power Shell. It's spelled P-A-U-A. And
That's
it's
awesome.
said like, I got the power.
Is that from the East Coast?
It is a relative of the abalone, and it is found off the coast of New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we've got our New Mexico Pendant, Jack's New Mexico Pendant, sterling silver with the soldered Powa shell. That looks like the ocean, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can see how that shell's blending in, that camouflage of that.
Mm-hmm.
It has an iridescence to it. It kind of changes with the light, catches the light in different ways, goes from greens to blues.
Price on this piece is $99. It is soldered stone or soldered shell on with sterling silver bezel. Get a side shot there with that hand textured New Mexico shape pendant.
You even have the wire wrapping on the.
You do have the wire wrapping
chain.
on
I
the.
just noticed that's so cool.
Yep.
That wasn't on the last one, was it? No.
It was the setting on the last one. I
Right.
did the woven setting.
Okay, I see.
Changing it
That's
up.
awesome.
So this is also a one of a kind.
Yep.
This was kind of just random inspiration on the bench, and so there won't be another one like this. And yeah, there's that same technique that I do on the Zia symbol, where the bound element is fused in place to add texture there.
That's so cool.
And it's just a touch to show you that I made it. I like to put that on everything to some degree or another.
You have this interesting texture on the inside of your
Yes, I don't like when there is different coloration on the inside of the bail.
Yeah.
I like everything to be uniform, so I go in with a diamond bit in the flex shaft and smooth it all out to give it an even sheen on the inside of the bail, just so there's no different colors or fire scale or anything from the soldering.
Beautiful. And this looks like maybe it's on an 18 or 20 inch.
The chains that I brought with me today that are on these pieces are 24-inch adjustable. So they could adjust down to any size. They go all the way up to 24 inches. They have a nice lobster clasp there. And it's just a simple box chain.
Box chain, and then that box chain is sliding through the adjuster bead. And so these beads have an acrylic inside that creates a friction. And so you can, is that what I'm looking at? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you can slide that and it'll stay in place, and that'll create that adjustability onto the piece. Great. That's item number 8.
Nine and 10 are gonna fly, y'all.
Here they come. Number 9. Price on this piece before we put it out is $99. Item number 9, we've got the peridot.
Peridot. Yep.
Peridot sterling silver Zia
Pendant.
pendant.
And that is the only small Zia pendant. It's the same size. Thank you, Betty. It's the same exact size as the Zias for the earrings, except it's done in pendant form. But that is the only one of that size that I have with me today.
And that's sold to Betty Fowler on Facebook.
Yep.
One thing I'll just mention really quick about that peridot, you probably noticed that it was shining really brightly. The peridot that I used was very clear, transparent, with a bright green color. And so what I did to make it really shine is I went in before I set the stone and I polished the silver behind the stone up to a mirror finish and then put the stone in. And so now forever when the light gets trapped inside the stone, it really radiates out.
That's cool.
Nice
So-
extra detail. I've seen people put aluminum foil behind it as like a cheat, but if you go ahead and actually polish the silver, I think that came out so much better.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
Last piece, number 10.
Then we go back to number 1.
And then we'll go back to number 1. Let's do this right here. How about that?
There we go.
That camera looks good. Number 10, price on this is $179. It's fairly larger, and it looks like a large piece of Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
Turquoise?
Same exact Sleeping Beauty turquoise as the Sleeping Beauty earrings, except a bit bigger.
10 sold.
Thank you, Janie.
Lisa, she barely beat you.
She beat you, Lisa.
You said the price was $179?
$179, and we can get a hold of Lisa and
Oh, Janie got the earrings too, right? So
there you go. She's got a matching set. So we'll be in touch, Lisa. If you'd like one, we'll connect you with Jack. Thank you. All right, that was our last piece, but we're gonna come back to number 1 now that you've seen Jack's work. Is it okay if I
Yeah,
take this out?
you can take it out. The black insert comes out completely, so you can get the chain.
Don't want to break it. Here we go. Let's hang that here. There we go.
That is so cool.
Oh, that perfect.
I'm going to actually.
There's 2 different loops in case it needs to be higher.
Wow, it's adjustable too and everything. You thought of
Yeah.
everything. There we go. I'm
I
gonna
like details.
back this up a little bit. I'm gonna adjust that camera. So tell us about this piece, Jack.
Okay, so this is one of my higher end statement pieces. I really like to make these pieces, and sometimes I don't get as much time as I would like to spend on more of these because they take a long time to make.
Sure.
A piece like this, once it's in focus, we'll be able to see some of the details. This is probably an 80 to 100 hour piece.
100 hours?
Probably 80 to 100 hours over the course of maybe a couple weeks.
That's nuts.
It's a really intensive process just to even make them because there is so much detail that if I stop working and I don't stay in a creative flow state for a really long period of time, like 10, 12 hours in a day or 16 hours in a day, it's very easy for a piece like this to go on and take forever. So when I make things like this, I get really in the zone. I get in my studio. I make sure I have food. I make sure everything's organized. And I go for like a week or two in order to be able to finish something like this.
I can imagine.
So, okay, my overall idea for the design was I thought I'd like to make a necklace that had a gradient effect in the coloration of the stones. So it starts with greens and then goes to yellow, orange, red, and brown. So the stones that are used to make that happen are chrome tourmaline, that's a special green tourmaline, yellow citrine. In the center there, that bright orange, that is a faceted Mexican opal. So that's a really unique stone in the center there. On the side here, on the left side of your screen where my finger is pointing, that's a little hessonite garnet. So that is the same orangish garnet stone that we saw in one of the New Mexico pendants earlier. And then this row here is all red garnets. And then the bottom stone is a smoky quartz. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this piece, I did a similar thing with this that I did in that ring number 2 that had the lapis. So if you look on the back here and the chain, this framework, I created this entire understructure before any of that white silver or gold was put in. This entire solid understructure and framework with the chain attached to it was all fabricated together. So these are all dangling links that are each an individual framework in themselves, and they're all soldered together to lay nicely like that. And that framework is oxidized intentionally to give it that darker appearance so that it will contrast with the silver and gold. So you saw me explain some of my techniques earlier, so it gave you kind of an introduction. In this piece, basically in all of these different dangles, all of these different pieces of the dangles that are coming down, each one is like a different way of setting the stone. Some of them are similar, not everyone is completely different. But for example, this one here is a unique type of setting where I have this almost like a knot pattern that's going back and forth, and each time these two pieces of silver converge and then go around each other again, there's a garnet set underneath there, and that's actually woven in place. So I have that solid framework underneath, making it nice and elegant and wearable. But then here it's woven back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trapping those stones in place. Here, this is one of my favorite things that I do in my work. I love doing this setting technique. It takes some effort. I call this woven channel setting. So again, I'm doing those two concentric rectangles that fit together perfectly around the stones. There's 3 garnets in there set together. If you notice the way they catch the light. And that inner piece of metal is bound and woven to the outer piece of metal with that long, thin strand of silver, trapping it in place permanently and adding that texture there. So those are the techniques that I use in this piece. There is also some accents of 22 karat gold in the top around this chrome tourmaline and around this triangular red garnet.
Wow. That's incredible, everyone. And you've seen the work that Jack has done tonight, and this is the build-up into a piece like this.
Boss, yeah.
And so I think everyone has really gained an appreciation for your work, Jack. I think
Thank you.
I think everyone is blown away by what you brought in today. The price on this piece is $1,900. It's sterling silver, fine silver, and what is that, 18 karat gold?
22.
22 karat gold, only the best.
I like the pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely pops. It'll pop on anyone. There's so much to talk about. If you were wearing this piece and you had a question on it, you have a whole video of an explanation about the energy and the time that just goes into this piece. We had a few people say like, "Wow, I'm going to see Jack's work in galleries in the future." Yeah, this is you've been making jewelry since you were 15 years old.
Yep, so 14 years now.
14 years of work to create pieces like this. If you were to buy this piece on layaway, it's $475 a month for 4 months. It also qualifies for financing through Klarna and Afterpay, which will, I believe, finance up to 2 years. And if you purchase through one of those payments systems, which is during our checkout process, you will receive the piece right away, and then they'll set up the finance stuff with you. Incredible.
It's so cool.
I don't know.
It's really cool to
Thank
look
you.
at.
All of the contrast there between the gold, the silver, the blackened oxidized silver behind. Awesome. Well, excellent. Can I show off the back here as well? I really like this. Just another little feature of this piece. It's on that Rollo chain, but we've got a couple of different size settings. There is a large jump ring on the end and maybe 2 inches down, so you've got 2 inches of adjustability here. The length on this piece is measuring, the pendant is about 16 inches, so we're doing 16 to 18 inches. Is that
Yep.
right? 2 inches?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's 18-inch chain at the longest length, and then you could adjust it down a couple inches to about 16 inches.
Right, and we've got a little description on the card on that as well. So, awesome. Master level, we'll have Master Jack back again someday, hopefully. And it's really awesome to see. I mean, you've been making jewelry since you were 15.
Yeah.
You went through the CNM program. I'm sure that honed some of your skills. And
These techniques emerged while I was going through that program.
really?
Yeah, because it was kind of a
Just
build-up.
sold it.
Yeah, Bernadette's going to take it.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Thank
There she
you,
goes.
Bernadette.
Thank you, Bernadette. This is, do you feel that in the air?
Yeah.
When a masterpiece like this sells, you just
exciting.
feel, you get the shivers a little bit, and the emotion that I just felt from you when Bernadette purchased that piece.
Absolutely.
You put part of your soul into this piece,
Yeah.
and you just remembered. You can kind of feel it in your throat a little bit. The 100 hours you put into this, you can go back into that moment, and you feel all that go in there. And when someone purchases a piece like that, you're not just buying this piece. You're taking a piece of Jack with you, and it's super honorable to be a part of that transaction. Thank you, Bernadette, so much.
Thank you.
And we'll put this over here for you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, you better be the one that gives her the drum.
The drum. Drumming for Bernadette.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. That was really amazing. Amazing work.
I really appreciate that. I'm very grateful for that.
I kind of got chills when I saw her say sold. I was like, oh.
We've had that feeling a few times with artists that have brought in really amazing pieces of work, and it's just an incredible feeling that I can't ever say enough. You could feel it. I'm sure Bernadette at home could feel it. I hope all of you could feel that at home. All of the energy and work that went into that piece is going to continue its story now with Bernadette, and we appreciate it. It is an investment. Jack is an up-and-coming artist, and really for 15 years, you're at this level now where you're creating these masterpieces, this level of work that they're going to be hard to find. You're going to be they're incredibly valuable, and especially with inflation. We just talked about this yesterday. I don't want to go on my soapbox about inflation again. The value of jewelry and how it's a way of storing value and art in general.
They take quite a bit of time to make those pieces, and also someone purchasing a piece like that means that I can continue to produce work and continue to have this as a way of life. So that is really very helpful and supportive.
Perfect.
And we just sold number 4.
Number 4 is going to Lena.
Ooh, so we're about to
Lena.
have a sold
Thank
out
you,
show.
Lena.
All right. We've got one piece left. We've got the Power piece.
Yep.
Got our New Mexico pendant. This is item number 8. Last piece for today. $100.
Finished this morning, actually.
Really?
Fresh.
Fresh piece.
Fresh off the bench. $99 for the New Mexico pendant. There you go.
I'd be surprised if that one stays for more than a day or 2.
Yep.
Even if it doesn't sell during the show, that won't hang around for long.
We'll be posting in our inner circle. Thank you everyone for joining us today. If you have any questions for Jack, I hope that you'll be part of the inner circle, and
Absolutely.
everyone can ask questions and get a hold of Jack. I know there was a couple. Lisa, there was another piece that
I
we
got Lisa and Bernadette down.
Bernadette for.
Bernadette wanted the turquoise Zia earrings, and Lisa wanted the turquoise Zia necklace.
We'll be in touch, and we'll connect you with Jack, and I'm sure you'd be happy to make a few more pieces.
Yeah, both of those are reproducible, and I'm more than happy to make more of them. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll see you next time.